Now, the Bram Weinstein Show on Washington's new home for sports, ESPN 630.
Hey, babies. Hey, babies. Hey, babies. Hi, everyone. Big day, everyone. Hi, everyone. New famous wizard, everyone. Hi, everyone.
Hopefully it doesn't go the route of Johnny Davis.
Oh, man. Jimmy?
He was in all the uniform shoots.
Let's have Jimmy on tonight, too. Memories of draft night a couple of years ago. Then memories of Summer League.
2 months later.
Yeah, 2 months later.
Who's that?
Oh, here we go. No, I don't think we're going to get a Jimmy Davis thing tonight. I think we're going to get a guy that they're going to be pumped about, actually. French Connection, baby. Here we go. Here we go now.
I just know not to react to whoever they draft. That's just how I am with this team.
You know,
it's been like this for a while for me.
I will go back to, I am glad, I know it's number 2. I'm glad it's not number 1. Because think about this for a second. When was the last time you could remember at this moment, 5 hours before the draft, you don't know who the number 1 pick is? You don't know who it is.
Right.
That tells you everything you need to know. Maybe these guys will end up being good, right? Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But there's no obvious person, or the Hawks would have announced it weeks ago.
Right.
Windhorst would have been in France having dinner with his family if this was Wembanyama 2.
Right.
But we don't even know. I can't remember. This is even the Bears who tried to be like, we're going to pick somebody. Everybody knew.
It's Caleb, yeah.
This is crazy. Well, this is a different year. There's no obvious stud.
There's no obvious person to take at number 1.
Right.
We already have Alex Sarr apparently doesn't want to go to Atlanta, so we're
for whatever
hearing
reason that is.
Right. We don't have a reason on that.
If he's smart, he never gives the real answer to that.
Of course not. Yeah, right.
Why would you say you don't want to play for the Atlanta Hawks?
Right.
Like you're French, dude. Like, what are you talking about? You don't like Atlanta? What do you not like about Atlanta? What's wrong with Atlanta?
Let's play with his boy Bilal.
Maybe. That is what it is.
Well, it could be.
Could be.
This is awesome. I don't know if you're hearing the same
I'm
thing.
hearing it.
Okay.
Is the audience hearing it, or is
I
it
don't
us?
know. I don't know.
DM me if you're hearing static every so often for about 3 seconds, because I'm hearing it.
It's awesome.
And it's distracting.
Sounds
really.
like TV static.
Yeah. If you're not hearing it, fine. I'll just deal with it. If you are, DM us, and we'll try to get somebody in here to make that stop.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like shock therapy. Every time we badmouth the Wizards, stop.
Yeah. Hit the button, Zachary. They haven't learned their lesson.
We're not talking good enough about that team.
I just want Alex Sarr with freaking laser beams on his head.
Oh, wow. You finally merged the two.
Yeah.
Finally merged Dr. Evil and
All
Ted.
right, draft night. We'll get into all the draft stuff later. The Wizards are an afterthought now because Stephen A. Smith went on air today and said, literally, the Phoenix Suns want to trade Kevin Durant now.
Oh, I thought it was that they're
out.
I thought it was that the Suns want that they. God, that's distracting.
Yeah. Don't talk about that either. Yeah.
I thought it was that the Suns still wanted to run it back. I thought that's what Sham said, but maybe that changed.
No.
Then. Okay. All right.
No.
Stephen A. said they're out.
Stephen A. said, don't listen to what they're saying. He said he repeated it and said it loud. He goes, don't listen to what they're saying. They want out of Kevin Durant now.
Oh, okay.
So, that's a twist.
Right.
I thought they'd try to get out of Brad, personally.
That's what I would have
thought. They could.
But they can't get anything for Brad. They can get something for KD.
Why don't they want KD? Let's think about this. Why don't they want him? Of the 3, well, Booker's younger, so I get it.
And
Booker's younger.
Homegrown, too.
Homegrown, 27, not injury prone.
Right.
I get it.
Yep.
He's, at this point, probably the best of the 3.
Yep.
Most reliable, can play all the games, all that stuff. Durant can be a killer in the playoffs, but so can he actually. So I get it with that. But on we need to make a change. I guess they're just stuck with Brad. They know they can't trade him, right?
Right.
So they've decided though they got to move away from Durant. And Durant, I guess the reporting is, or at least he's outwardly saying, I haven't asked for a trade and don't want out of here. This is kind of fitting a little bit for him. No offense, dude, but you've pulled these strings on your behalf over and over and over. It was it was karmically going to happen that a team was going to go, you know what, we're going to get out of your business now.
Right.
Now, the problem is, like, well, I guess, does he have a no-trade clause? Probably doesn't.
No. There's only 2 no-trade clauses in the whole league. 1 no-trade clause in the league, and it's Brad.
So they could.
LeBron's going to get the second one.
I mean, the NBA, like, they can send you somewhere, but the other team's got to know that the guy's going to play.
Of course, yeah.
So, like, that's the problem. But, like, technically, they could just buy.
Right. That's right.
They could. And it would be to a contender. I mean, who else would do that?
Yeah.
You know, that the teams have gotten smart enough that they just go, if we're middling, we're not just going to get this guy in here unless you are, like, palpably saying to your fan base, we just want to sell tickets and you'll go see Kevin Durant.
You're right.
We know we're not going to win, but we think if we put him out there, we'll sell a lot of tickets.
That's right.
And those are the teams that you should never root for.
Yeah, right. Correct.
Because they're not serious.
Yes.
They're not serious people.
Right.
So he'd end up on a contender. Which contender is that going to be? It's now not the Knicks.
Right. Well, yeah, because they traded $1
now
million
not the
first-round
Knicks.
picks for Michael Bridges, yeah.
Right. They just traded away all their picks.
Which I thought was an overpay, wholly overpay.
I'm going to get into that in a second.
But anyways.
That deal's crazy.
The New York Wildcats.
I mean,
Villanova Knicks.
They got like 7 picks for him. Like 5 first-round picks for him.
Right.
Why?
Unprotected.
Right. Why?
Right.
They decided he's the reason why they're going to win a championship?
Guess so.
Really?
Yep.
Why don't they hire Jay Wright to coach him? What are they?
Yeah, what's he doing? Nothing.
Yeah, he's probably like, I know how to win with those guys.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me get back to Durant here. So Stephen A. said that like it was definitive.
Mm-hmm.
He said, do not listen to what they're saying. They want to trade him, which means they probably will. They probably will.
Well,
but to who?
Here's the thing. It's going to be not unlike the Aiyuk thing. It's going to be after tonight because nobody wants anything from tonight in any of these deals.
All right, let me ask this question then. Golden State, last legs, he won there. You want him back for the end of his career? End of Draymond, end of Steph's career? Run it back with those because Clay will then allow Clay to move on to whatever because they haven't signed him yet. And they've said they want him back, but they haven't signed him yet. And honestly, I mean, like, he can't stay healthy anymore. So maybe you figure out a way to move. I don't know. You'd have to do sign and trade with Thompson, and I don't know how many years the other team would want to give to him. But, like, I could see a 3-team deal where Klay Thompson ends up somewhere else and Durant takes that giant hole in their salary and they send him back to Golden State. Would that make sense?
The report for Golden State, though, is that they want to sign Chris Paul to a max deal.
Why?
I don't
know. Are they nuts? Why has everybody lost their minds?
I don't know.
Bridges for 85 first-round picks and Chris Paul gets a max deal?
Right.
Why?
I don't know.
I thought he and Draymond didn't even like each other.
That's what I thought
they also
too.
didn't win.
Trust me.
They weren't even good last year.
Preaching to the choir over here, man.
Wow. What's going on right now?
I don't know.
He's like the Kirk Cousins of the NBA now. Well, we got to have him. Why do you have to have him?
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad here. It's they're pursuing to trade Chris Paul and with a max deal, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, all right. Now that makes sense.
All right, got it. Okay.
Okay. Phoenix want him back?
They're also shopping Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
Which, whatever.
That one will be that'll get accomplished because a contender will look at him and go, he's a good 6-man.
Right.
And he can still play. Mm-hmm. There was some weird stuff going on with him, I think, with his family that was never really totally disclosed, and he missed a lot of time. I think there were some things going on off the court with him. But, hopefully if that's all settled for him, I think he'd be a very good addition for a contending team because he's the perfect, like for them he's the perfect type of player that comes in. They're not asking him to be the star. You could be a 6th man on a good team or a starter that is a third option in an offense, and that's really good.
Right.
Like he's really good at something like that. So they'll get a deal for him. Chris Paul, who's signed and trading for a max deal for him?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Max deal?
Maybe I just misread something somewhere. It says Paul is, if he's not waived by Friday, his $30 million salary is guaranteed for next season. So it says
so they're going to waive him. They're trying to trade him right now, and they're going to waive him.
It does say the Warriors and Paul could mutually agree to extend that guarantee date to give all parties more time to find
a trade. So he's gone.
So he's gone either way.
He's gone, but he's old. And
he has a $30 million salary if that's the case, which means he is tradable for something.
Does Phoenix, it's different ownership now, but, he was really good there a couple of years ago.
Right.
He was really good there.
Right.
So, think about that. That falls in line with what I think. Would Durant go back to Golden State to run it back with Steph and Draymond, knowing Chris Paul will be gone, because that'll be the trade part that probably goes back.
Right.
And Klay Thompson is moving on.
Yeah, Klay's gone.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on. Like, I don't know. That team isn't as deep as it used to be. That was a very deep team he played on, and all those guys were in their prime when that actually happened. So this is very different. But they're kind of out of options, right? And they need to try to win now again. I would make an argument at the end of Steph and Draymond's careers there that, like, bringing Durant back, if he was open to it, actually makes sense to me.
I'd actually tell Durant, hey, we're going to get you out of the desert. Stick with us for a little bit. We don't know how good we're going to be. If we're not good enough, we'll get you to a contender at the trade deadline.
Sure.
We'll get you at the deadline. We'll get you somewhere.
I mean, would he be willing to go back and do that again? I mean, I don't know. Why not? Now, why does Phoenix not want him anymore? That's a good question.
Right.
Why?
Right. I don't know.
How are they better without him? What are they getting for him that makes them better?
Well, I think I think it just, you look at the other pieces. It's Brad. You can't move.
You can't move him. That was a mistake.
Booker's your guy, though. Booker's your captain. So you're not going to move him.
This Wizards move looks better and better and better by the minute.
Of course.
I mean,
Of course it
and
does.
like we knew that at the time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I remember the day when everybody was freaking out on the Wizards going, you got this, you got this. And I go, one, that trade's not done. And they ended up getting Poole. And I'm like, two, you had to get out of that deal. This new front office came in and fixed a giant mistake the owner made. Don't get mad at them for what they got back. They had to get out of that.
That's right.
And they did.
Right.
And they did. And remember, Brad held all the cards.
That's right.
Because Brad gets to go, I got to ask Hot Magazine where I'm going to live that'll be cool. Then he got what he wanted, went to a team with superstars, and they flopped.
And they flopped bad.
Bad.
He's bringing the ball up.
Bad. And he'll sit there and go, but my back hurt for half the season. And I'll go, that's your fault.
That's your fault. Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's your fault. Thought you were energized.
Well, remember, it was his move, too. That's where he wanted to go.
I want to go there.
Right. He was his agent was friends with whoever.
He should have gone to the Heat, but the Heat would have hated him.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. That he's
Like
not,
in the
he's not
end,
Heat culture.
In the end, the Heat are lucky they didn't get him.
Correct.
Because if they did, he wouldn't have played defense the way Riley and Spoelstra wants him to, and Jimmy Butler would hate him. Just hate him. Spoelstra would hate him. You think Riley was tough on Butler in that?
Oh my God, it would have been amazing for
killed
Brad.
him.
It would have been amazing for Brad.
Killed him. Yeah. Yeah, we can't guard a parking meter. Yeah, no, you can't guard a parking meter, buddy.
Hope he's training in California.
Yeah.
Who would have taken shots like that?
Oh,
at him.
yeah. Yeah, hope he's getting back in shape. You know, availability
Wonder what his
matters.
wife thinks of his training.
Yeah. Saw that interview in Hot Magazine.
You always love bringing up the Hot Magazine thing. You're so
Ridiculous.
jealous. You're so jealous of it.
Not really.
You
I just
are.
think it's like,
You're jealous of that.
no, it's like he's not that. It's just not. Like, no offense. He's just not. He's wealthy in his beautiful house and a bearskin rug. Like,
Yeah, I mean, and
I know, but he's like
that
not.
gets you in the Hot Magazine these
I know,
days.
but he's not a needle mover among stars. Like, he's not.
No, that was his.
No, but nobody's like, oh, I got to follow Brad on Instagram. Like, nobody's
No,
like
of
that.
course
Right,
not.
right. That's
God,
what I'm
no.
saying. That's what I'm saying. So, like, if that was I've never also heard of Hot Magazine, which makes a lot of sense that he ended up there. That's the B-level celebrity magazine of rich people.
They needed to give him an interview so he wasn't insecure around Kyle Kuzma. Because Kyle Kuzma does move the needle on that.
Does
stuff.
move the needle.
Goes to Paris
Fashion
Fashion
icon.
Week.
Fashion
Goes to
icon.
Paris Fashion Week.
All right. So Phoenix regretting what they did now, thought they did the right thing, regretting what they did now. I think we all knew that this wasn't going to go as well as they thought it was going to go. I didn't think it'd be as bad as it was, but in the end, I remember looking at it, even when it happened, I went, they don't have a bench. So, and those guys, Durant can't stay healthy for 82 games. So, God forbid Brad gets hurt or Booker gets hurt.
Yeah.
They're not going to win as much as they think they are. So, they're going to be somewhere in the playoffs, somewhere in the middle of the pack. The younger, healthier teams will end up having a better record because they can make it through the season. Then we'll get to the playoffs and see what happens. And they went bust.
Right.
And Brad was terrible in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And they can't move him now because he didn't ascend on a good team and become a star. So the other teams aren't interested in him at a no trade clause that rate.
Right.
So they're stuck with him. Booker, you don't want to get rid of because he's 27.
Right.
You don't want to get rid of him.
And he's, like I said, he's the homegrown guy.
And has been really, really good in his career. So I guess maybe that's their only move now is their choices are run it back or move Durant. So that's what they want to do. They want to move Durant. But aren't they kind of stuck with what they have and don't they have to make a go of it? Like, this is where I don't get it. If they trade Durant, what are they actually getting back that actually makes them better and a championship
so this
contender?
is the other layer.
See, that's what I don't really that's what the thinking on it doesn't really, I understand where they're like, this went bust, let's get out of this business. The only one we can move that's valuable well, we could get a lot for Booker, but we don't want to trade him. We could trade Durant before he's a diminishing return. I'll hear that out. But, like, are you saying that championship window that you thought was there a year ago is now closed and therefore we need to start the process of moving on? Is that what you're saying? Because I don't know how you're getting a star back for Kevin Durant. You're not. So how are you better and then vying for a title again? How are you explaining that?
The other layer to this is that, did you see what Houston did in the Michael Bridges trade? Houston got back.
Did that happen?
What?
They said they were talking about it.
They was talking about it, but it hasn't
that they're
officially
swapping
happened.
the picks because they want one of those Phoenix players.
They want
Booker.
They want Phoenix's picks back so they can go, we have your picks back, so if you want to hit the reset button and get all of your picks back, we can give them to you.
But they want Booker, though.
They want Durant.
Stephen A. said they want Booker. They don't want Durant.
We got all these different sources.
Okay. So Stephen A. and I believe Stephen A. on this stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Stephen A. said on that one, he said
they want Booker.
They want, obviously, and his reasoning actually made sense to me. He said they don't want Durant because they feel like they're very young and that they're like Oklahoma City. They feel like they're a couple years away before they can take that leap, and Durant's not on that timeline, but Booker is.
Got it.
Booker's the younger star who can weather the let's get better together part of it. So in year 3 of that, when they're all good, those young players are all good at the same time, they got a chance to, vie for a title. Well, they can't do that with Durant because it has to happen now for him.
Okay.
So that's what he said. And I actually agree with that sentiment of Houston. I could see where that might be attractive to go get him, but on the timeline that they're on, it would be a risky thing to do, and he's only got a couple years left in him anyway. And if it doesn't get where they want it to get to, well, all of a sudden he's retired or out or somewhere else, or the way it's going now, he's got a shelf life of a couple years in any one place before he either wants to leave or someone wants him to leave. And he's at an age now anyway where he's going to have to retire soon. There's no way. Like, LeBron has made it this long. He's starting to, play less minutes, all that stuff, because he's near 40.
Yep.
He also has never had major injuries. Durant has.
That's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, considering the injuries Durant had, it's amazing he's playing at this level now.
Right.
Like that, those injuries he had ended Kobe's career. Ended it.
Yeah, that's right.
Ended his playing career. He was never the same after he tore his Achilles tendon. Durant tore his Achilles tendon and is still good at an advanced age. But how much longer is that going to last? I don't know. I don't know if the Suns are doing the right thing here. Reset.
They're one of their beat writers from.
They got a tough choice to make.
One of their beat
here.
writers from Arizona Central is saying that they're not trying to trade Kevin Durant.
Okay,
that's what one of the beat writers is saying.
Stephen A. is literally saying, "Don't listen to them; they're lying." And maybe that's Durant's camp telling him maybe Durant wants out.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe he's looking at it going, "I can't win." Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? They're all high school girls. They just gossip about each other. It's hard to know. This is why their off season is better than their regular season by so much.
Golden State also wants Paul George too.
Name a regular season game that is as good as these 2
None
weeks.
of them.
Not one.
Wizards Pistons on a Thursday night.
Not one. Even a good one. Like Denver is playing Minnesota. It's still not as good.
I will say this. We did have 2 classics this year of Lakers Warriors. We did have 2 of those, which were actually those were really good.
It's still not nearly as entertaining as these 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So what are they going to? So if this is going to happen, it's probably going to. Well, it doesn't have to happen tonight if you're talking about picks.
Right.
Down the road.
Yeah.
Nobody wants this.
Nobody wants these picks. Yeah,
nobody wants this.
That's what I've been saying. Nobody wants anything from this draft. So.
Yeah. Like that deal actually is fortuitous for the other team that gives up the pick tonight if they can work it out that way and make that a major asset, because Phoenix would be dumb for taking it. Is what would be the
right. Exactly.
Yeah. Houston is supposedly, I didn't see that to be official, but Houston supposedly is getting Phoenix's picks back to give them back to them, but they want Booker.
Right.
So if they're trading Booker, that's a reset. And that means they probably would trade, because at that point, Durant would be out. If Booker's not there and they're just getting picks, then he goes, they're out, and then they'll figure out what they do with him. Yeah. And that leaves Brad alone
by
on a crappy team.
40 points a night, Brad. 40 points a night.
We had him going, last week we had him going to the Lakers when LeBron goes and plays with the Suns, and then he's alone on the Lakers. Now he might be alone on the Suns when they reset.
That report is still
No
live.
trade clause goes to the place. The other stars bolt. Yes.
That report is still live, by the way, that the Suns are actually interested in Bronny with the second-round pick.
I bet they are. So I've read a lot of pieces the last couple of days of take Bronny hostage. Like,
oh, did you see?
All sorts of like, just draft him and let's see what happens.
You didn't see what happened on one of the Ringer podcasts, did you?
What?
This is the best. Like, it was Bill Simmons, and he's like, you know what would just make this offseason better than just winning an NBA title?
Celtics draft him.
Celtics draft him at number 30 and hold him hostage.
Hold him hostage.
And say, what do you want? What are you going to give us?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, this draft stinks.
Right.
I would make a case of get Bronny James because you're going to get something
You're
for
going
him.
to get something for him. Right.
You're going to get something for
one
him.
of those bench players.
Right. And then, like, if the Lakers don't have what you want,
right,
you could just go make a 3-team deal work out.
That's right. Yes.
Make it work
out.
out.
Dance partner.
Find the thing that we want, or he's going to be held hostage here.
Best.
I love it.
But it was like
I love it.
Simmons went full Boston.
I love it. Yeah, take him.
Yeah.
The second LeBron said I'd play with him, I went, well, now you've just told every team to draft him.
That's right.
Because now, and then he had to back away from that because he's never really going to do that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can't take him hostage
Correct.
and then call him up and say, this is what we want to have your son on your team.
Right. Exactly.
I hope someone's got the balls to do it. Hey, winger.
Or
if it gets to the second round, because we're not doing it with the second overall pick. If it gets to the second round, what second round pick are we getting that would be better than holding Bronny James hostage tomorrow?
Let's see. I'm just looking at the draft order here. LA does not pick in the second round until number 55.
Right. That's two. We have 2 picks before that. We got 2 second round picks.
Do you know who picks the pick before them at 54?
Who?
Boston.
They should do it. So what's LA's first round pick? Do they have one?
Yeah. It's like it's in the 20s, I think. Hold on.
So they're going to pick him in the 20s.
Sorry, 17. Yeah, you can't do that.
Well, you shouldn't do that, but they might do it.
They're not doing that.
I would scare them that if you don't take him and you let him get to the second round, someone's going to take him. Winger, with that first second round pick, do it. Do it. Let's have some fun.
26 overall would be the
Yes,
Wizards' second
do it.
pick.
Tell Zachary to draft Bronny James.
Zach doesn't run the Wizards, though.
Oh.
Zach only runs Monumental.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Sure about that?
I don't know.
Right, you don't know.
I just think it's Winger and company run the Wizards.
See, don't start the KD to DC stuff. We ain't in that mode anymore. Winger and company ain't doing that. We're not doing that.
What if they want?
We're not doing
What
that.
if they want your boy Denny?
No.
Welcome back, Brad. You got Denny with you.
Daddy's back.
Are they doing theme nights
You
out
want
in Phoenix?
Kispert?
They doing theme nights out in Phoenix?
Oh, Lord. So, all right. So where's Durant going to go, and will it happen tonight? But why would it happen tonight? Nobody wants any of the picks tonight. So this one's probably going to linger. This is going to be weird. Who's Atlanta trading the first pick to? That's a question.
Right. Yeah. Well, now there's also...
Because if this guy Sarr, like everyone seems to think he wants to go to the Wizards, and which is why he doesn't want Atlanta to select him. Again, they don't have to play by those rules. They could just select him, or they could tell him, okay, you could go to the Wizards if we trade with them, but are there other teams that you want to go to? Because we'll trade with them too.
Right.
We're in for a weird night. We're in for a weird night.
Can't wait till the second round is at 4 o'clock tomorrow, too.
Listen.
4 o'clock.
I don't mind
on
that.
On a Thursday.
You know, the funny part is we'll read the picks live here.
That's right, yeah.
And you won't know any of the names of any of them. It's going to be guys from Croatia and parts unknown, and then some dude on Murray State who, probably scored 58 points a game, but you never saw it because all he did was play Western Kentucky 15 times.
That's right. The mock draft is out. I have to credit Heather McDonough on this one. NBA.com, SB Nation, Yahoo Sports, The Ringer, and NBADraft.net all have Alex Sarr going to the Wizards.
Going to the Wizards. Who do they have at number 1 in those mock drafts?
I don't know. It's just the Wizards logo.
It'd be funny if it was 5 different people going number 1, because that would be fitting for what tonight is.
Did not see who that was.
All right, we'll check that out soon. All right, let me take a quick break. Bram Watch the Show, ESPN 630, Sports Capital. This from Pro Football Talk. 49ers receiver Brandon Aiyuk requested a meeting with the team. It happened on Monday. Aiyuk still doesn't have a long-term extension that he seeks, but the meeting proved productive. Tom Pelissero of NFL Media reports it was a, quote, good meeting that led to an understanding that the 49ers have no interest in trading him, and Aiyuk has no interest in a trade.
Oh, okay.
Pelissero said this. They're moving forward. They want Aiyuk to be part of the team in 2024. So what I would anticipate here is all parties involved will go ahead, enjoy the 4th of July holiday, regroup sometime after that. They've still got several weeks here to see if they can hammer out a deal that locks in Aiyuk with San Francisco for the long haul.
Okay.
Aiyuk skipped the entire offseason program, including the mandatory minicamp. He's under contract for $14.1 million in 2024. He wants $30 million per year is what he supposedly wants. The sides, though, have not come to an agreement after months of discussion, et cetera, et cetera. So one of two things can happen here for them. They can give him a raise. Mm-hmm. Just do it. That's what the Giants did with Barkley last year. They didn't sign him to a long-term deal. They bumped him a little bit.
Right.
And they could, at $14 million, that is very low for what he's done comparatively. Could they bump it up over 20 and just say, we don't have to do this, but we're going to do this as a sign of good faith that we'd like to sign you. We can talk about a long-term deal next year. Wink, 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 wink. Someone else might not be here. Wink, 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 wink. or I guess they could appease him. But that report ends all of, I'm going to go with, we're not going to see any more FaceTime calls with him and Jaden Daniels over the rest of the summer.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that as well. I didn't think that was happening anyways, but.
Yeah, yesterday I was like, you guys got to stop doing that publicly. Just stop doing it public for our purposes, guys.
Secrets, guys.
Secrets. Secrets. Just keep the secrets, okay?
We know your boys.
Whatever you guys are talking about, I don't need to see it on TikTok. Just stop. Stop. Why do you have to show that to me?
Why do you have to post that on TikTok, too, by the way? I thought TikTok was like dances and stuff. Now people are just posting videos.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just me and quips and conversations that I have with my friends at 1 a.m.
I thought that was Instagram. I thought that Instagram was about
where do you do this?
Yeah,
where's latenightphonecall.com?
I feel so out of touch these days.
Yeah, where's Late Night Phone Call app?
Yeah, late night phone call.
Yeah, TikTok's for dancing. You guys are in the wrong place.
That's what I thought.
Right. If you guys did a coordinated dance together, it would make sense. But you're not doing that.
You're doing that in the Tyson's, mall there, that would make sense.
I don't know. Where do you send late night phone call video? I don't think there's an app for that. Let me write that one down. Late night phone call.
I think it's
app.
Instagram. I think it's
Instagram's late night phone call app.
Because Instagram has everything. So
I don't think there should be a dedicated space for this. I mean, you could dance on Instagram too. That never got popular that way. You could dance on Twitter if you wanted to. You dance anywhere.
Right. Twitter's different kind of
TikTok became the dance place.
Twitter's just becoming more and more of a shell of itself. So
I would like to have a place where I could go and aggregate all the weird 2 a.m. phone calls. Good place for it.
I'm trying to think of a good name for that.
All right, so that's over. Sorry, guys. For those of you that wanted that to happen, first, it wasn't going to now. If it was going to, it would have happened before the draft.
Right.
It didn't. And this is what good teams do. They don't trade their good players after the draft. It doesn't work that way.
It was really funny to see.
The business gets done before the draft, and that's it, period.
I don't know if you feel the same way. It was really funny to see some of the fan base react the way they did, and it was kind of like, guys, don't you know this isn't the old regime? Like, they aren't going to try to fix the offense in one offseason.
No.
It was like,
and I also
guys.
To Jaden, respectfully, I think your friend's a very good player too. I think the focus this year is on what we have, not what we don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you also haven't played an NFL season yet. So I think it's time to I appreciate you have a very close relationship with him. And just because that meeting went well, they don't know whether it's going to get together or not after the season. Here's what I think will happen. If he is the good soldier, here's what I think will happen. The good meeting means we're not going to pay you $14 million this year. We're going to up that. We don't have to. We are obligated to pay you $14.1 million on this. But you've exceeded that number. It's way below market value. We'll meet you in the middle and give you a bump that we don't have to give you for you to show up, play hard.
Yep.
Right? And then when the season is over, let's see how everything goes. And either way, you're going to be in good shape. Like, you'll either be potentially franchised by us, you'll be a free agent, or we'll come to you and give you that contract that you want because, wink, 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 someone else might not be here. They're not going to do it now because they're not better without him.
Yeah, right.
and they don't have somebody to replace him. And I know they used a first-round pick on this other guy, but they're not stupid. They know what he is. They know he's a known quantity. They're going to bring him back. So the only way to really appease anybody is to give him more money. And he deserves it. I'll agree with that. Like, I don't think he's $30 million a year, but I also know he's not 14. So we can meet somewhere in the middle here.
The old Donovan McNabb deal. Remember when they pissed him off here and Shanahan gave him the quote-unquote extension?
Yeah.
And all it was handing him more money, so he shut up.
So shut up, yeah.
And then they cut him anyways.
I think if their game plan was just to shake the trees enough to get them to give them more money than they have to, then it probably worked.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't blame him because 14 is low comparatively. So I agree with him on that. And, a dumb team goes, too bad, that's what it is, like the Giants did.
Yeah, right.
And then they're like, fine, we'll give you 8 cents more, You feel better about it? What happened a year later?
Yeah.
The guy who said over and over, I only want to be here. I love being here. We've sucked, and I still want to be here. I'm your best player. I'm 27. And they go, can't pay you. Can't do it. Look at our coach. He lost all that weight. We're ready to roll, baby.
Well, that was before, or that was after he signed on with the Eagles.
Ridiculous. I'm not into letting your best players just go, and San Francisco's not just going to let him go.
Right.
And, what did they look into trades for him? Of course they did. He also was saying he wanted a massive contract. So,
That's right.
That's just normal course of business. Did they talk to the Commanders about it? Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. For sure.
Would Peters have been interested? Yeah. He drafted him.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Right.
And knows he's close friends with Daniels. So sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And in fact, Aiyuk probably put Daniels on Peters' radar while he was in San Francisco.
That's right. Yeah.
It probably was like, this Purdy guy's okay, but that guy's better. And he's like, well, we're not going to have the number 2 overall pick.
So trade up again?
Mm-hmm. We're not going to. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We already did that once.
We did that.
Already did that.
Trey.
So sorry, guys. For those of you who thought he could force his way to go play with his friend and make us better in season 1, that was always never a likely outcome.
Wasn't gonna happen.
No, wasn't a likely outcome. And clearly now by this reporting is we're going to make you happy and satisfy you and probably fake re-engage with a long-term deal. They're going to ask for the money that they want. They're going to say no. And then they're going to say, but for your troubles and because we understand you're underpaid, here's the number as a sign of good faith that we would like you to be here. And it's not going to be a small raise. It's going to be a significant one.
Yeah.
So I bet Brandon Aiyuk is making over $20 million next year. It would be still below what the top tier receivers get, but it'll be guaranteed money because it's the 5th-year option.
Yep.
Not that he wouldn't get it anyway because it's too late now to do anything about it.
Yep.
And then they're going to say to him, and you know what? Even if we franchise you, if we franchise you, that automatically puts you in the top 5 of receivers. So you're in a good spot either way here.
Get cash, yeah.
And 19 ain't going to be here next year. We can't tell you that for real, but he's not. He's not.
Right.
Or if you stink,
right,
you're not
you're
going to
gone.
be. Yeah,
and
exactly. You're going to ruin your value.
Sure.
So, you're not going to get what you want if you stink.
I think it's all a smokescreen because they've drafted 2 wide receivers now. I just think
either Debo or Aiyuk are gone.
Yeah.
My gut says it's going to be Debo just because of injuries.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit older, right? So probably they need to move. They need to have a succession plan. They need to move on. But if Aiyuk is asking for unreasonable amounts of money and they just go, look, he's really good, but we can't pay him like Justin Jefferson, then they make a decision about it and they just keep Debo and try to, keep it together. And hopefully he's got a few more seasons in him.
Right.
So that's what's going to happen here. Sorry, guys. We're never getting him. It's not happening.
Not never. I wouldn't say never.
Not in the time frame they want, which was yesterday.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They talk about it every night.
They're good. They're good night conversations.
Yeah.
They call each other every night before bed.
Yeah. I want to play with you. I want to play with you too. Let's make it happen. Okay, let's do it yesterday.
You want to go shopping at Tyson's?
Peters is like, look, man, I can't make miracles
suit
happen.
shopping at Tyson's?
Yeah, suit shopping at Tyson's. Where's Ryan Clark on this? He had all the news.
Yeah, when's that going to drop?
When's that going to drop next?
Yeah.
Is the episode changed now?
No, there's no way. There's been too much hype behind it. You have to drop it. You can't pull that episode.
But then, does he do after we spoke, they had a meeting with the 49ers and everything went well?
Maybe. I would think so.
All's well that ends well, guys.
But if he doesn't actually have that extension in his hands, then it doesn't matter anyways. Everything they talk about is fine.
They're going to give him a raise that they don't have to give him to make him happy and just show up and play. Sign of good faith. We do want you here. We're not going to trade you, and we're not going to make you play on an under market value deal. Okay?
Yeah,
right. But we can't give you $128 million today. We could talk about that next year if you post the numbers that you did again and we end up in the Super Bowl again. We can talk about that again. Yeah. But not right now. And let us play it all out.
Right.
All right. All's well that ends well on that one, guys. All right, be right back. Bram Show, ESPN 630, Sports Capital. My favorite headline of the day is about the game show The Price is Right. Drew Carey, the host, did an interview with TV Insider and talked about the contestants on it and said this: they'll have a gummy or I'll smell alcohol in their breath. It's not unusual. There was a guy here that was tripping on mushrooms. He came with a bunch of friends. He was a sketch comedy guy, and I found out later he went to the Upright Citizens Brigade, which is a big sketch comedy theater. He said to hang out, and they were like, hey, did you see that guy who claimed to be a skateboarding rabbi? And I asked him what he did for a living, and he goes, I'm a skateboarding rabbi. He didn't think he was going to get picked, and then he totally tripped when I did.
I mean, that's not shocking.
So people are like, now it's to the point where they're like, let's just go get wasted and go see The Price is Right, see if we can get on it. And then they're just tripping.
Well,
they get up there and they're like, Showcase Showdown, let's go.
I mean, look, you still need people to play. So these are the people that you're drawing now. It's not as big of a deal as it used to be.
No, it's not. And that's a fun Tuesday. Just, that sounds like get on on some ayahuasca.
Yeah. Get on some ayahuasca. No, you don't do ayahuasca.
Get the throw up over.
Right.
No, you can't do that one?
Right? No.
Because you don't want to have a revelation while you're playing Plinko.
You don't have a capitalist revelation while you're doing The Price is Right. You can't do that.
Could you imagine if you did get on ayahuasca and you end up in some different universal plane and you actually pick the Showcase Showdown number to the dollar?
Yeah.
Like actually get it exactly right?
Right, but that's not what ayahuasca is. It's very capitalist. That's just not
ayahuasca?
That's just not.
I thought ayahuasca is it like helps your inner being come out and explain to you the world.
Right, which isn't anything with money, I think.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't think so.
I don't know. I just think it's like you get to know yourself better than you ever have. I thought that's what it was. Isn't that why Rogers does it?
And that would get you to the greatest dollar of a trip to Tokyo, a car, and
what if
a
the
new
washer
washer dryer. How?
Here's why I don't need ayahuasca. The reason is I know what I want, which is a lot of money. So maybe that's why
okay.
I don't need a drug to tell me what I want.
I thought it transcended whatever our physical life was.
Yes.
So that's why
it's like the Simpsons movie when he takes the drink and he goes, on the retreat up in Alaska, and then he finds out what his true meaning is. Homer finds it out.
That's it. That's an actual episode of The Simpsons too, when he goes on his like desert journey.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah. Yes.
Where he trips off chili.
Again, that show saw the future in so many ways.
Yeah, that's right.
Like they were 15 years ahead of ayahuasca being a thing.
That's right. Yes.
In pop culture, they were 15 years ahead of Trump being the president of the United States.
That's correct. Yes.
Like way ahead of all of it. Anyway. So, I don't know. I mean, good for them. That does sound like if you're bored and you like to do drugs, that would be a good place to go.
I agree.
Whether you get on stage or not.
Right. Sure.
But I would be worried, like, if you're on the wrong drugs, they ask a question because you have to, guess a price of something just to win to get up on stage with Drew. And they're like, how much is this toaster? And you're just not thinking right. And you're like, $8 million.
Well, I also think as well on this, I wonder if they've ever had to cut any bad trips.
Maybe.
Where people just don't have it together.
I mean, it's a shocking experience.
That toaster's moving, man.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Moving.
I don't want to win it.
You got to spin that big wheel. It's a lot of lights flashing. Like that showcase might be really cool. You go jump on it. I don't know. There's a lot that could happen if you're on those kind of drugs. Like, I don't know if I want to be on LSD and be on The Price is Right. Just really baked seems like, okay, let's try that out. Really drunk sounds like a bad idea, too.
I wonder if you could go, and if you went into the audience, can you opt not to actually be on stage? I wonder if that's an option.
Probably.
I don't know. It might not be.
Yeah, but if you tell them you don't want to be on stage, they're not going to pick you.
Well, they might
that
not.
Ensures they won't, because they're not going to take the person who's automatically saying, I do not want to be on stage.
They might not let you in, period, though.
Maybe.
That might be it.
Might be part of it.
Yeah.
I'm going with it. That place pre-selects exactly who's going on stage the second people walk in. Like, they've got them picked out. They have to.
I mean, I would assume
They've got,
so.
there's no, like, they're not, like, picking out they're not like a ping pong ball's coming out and they're like, guess what, you won.
It'd be more fun if it was.
Yeah. So, like, the
You get
guy,
some weirdos.
yeah, so the guy, right, the guy who shows up on mushrooms, they're like, put him on stage.
Put him on, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Did you ever watch the Netflix documentary on the guy that won a bunch of money off of Price is Right?
Because he figured out the pricing.
Yeah, he just knew prices. It was just his thing.
I read about this that he like studied the pricing.
He just knew the prices of everything.
He knew the prices of everything.
Every time he went on twice, I think it was, and just
couldn't lose
every dollar.
Yeah,
to the dollar.
He's like, that's $323, Drew, and they're like, what?
Well, it was Bob back then, but yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Good for him.
Yeah, I mean.
The other one that was really funny was, did you see the Texas A&M baseball coach?
Yes.
Who, after his team lost in the championship to Tennessee the other night, was asked, because clearly it was possible he was going to take another job.
Right.
And was asked about the other job, and browbeat the reporter and said, I don't know why you would ask me something like that right now. Because, play the bite. It's amazing. The
Coach,
whole...
with respect to the difficult outcome tonight, but with the rumors circulating today about a specific job opening, what do you have to say about your future in Aggieland?
Yeah, I mean... I think it's pretty selfish of you to ask me that question, to be honest with you. But I left my family to be the coach at Texas A&M. I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again, and that hasn't changed in my mind. That's unfair to talk about something like that. That'd be like you asking Montgomery if he's going to sign in the draft. But I understand you got to ask the question, but I gave up a big part of my life to come take this job, and I've poured every ounce of my soul in this job, and I've given this job every single ounce I can possibly give it. So write that.
And he's gone.
And less than 12 hours later, he took a job somewhere else.
That's right.
At actually a rival program.
Schlossnagel.
Nice answer, Schlossnagel.
It's a pretty easy one to make fun of.
So now, like, you're a liar. Well, actually, he didn't lie about it. He just said, how dare you ask me?
Well, he said, I know you have to ask the question. He berated him and then said, I know you have to ask the question.
Yeah. Ridiculous answer. How about, we just lost the national championship. My future's not on my mind right now. We'll talk about it.
Except that it was.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but just ask me that tomorrow, not today.
It was official.
How about, I have no comment on my future at this point.
Well, it was also like...
Well, I want to talk about this Texas A&M team. It's not hard to answer these questions.
The funniest part is it wasn't even a, hey, sources say he's going to Texas. Texas announced it.
Yeah. They're like, we got Schlossnagel.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know why they're Baltimore now.
Why are they Baltimore?
We got, his name is Schlossnagel. That sounds like a really good Baltimore name.
He played for the Orioles.
Hey, Schlossnagel, give me one of them crushes there, hon.
He played for the Orioles. You'd have to have a Schlossnagel jersey.
Schlossnagel is
How does
definitely...
that even fit on the jersey?
Schlossnagel is the president of a fraternity at Towson, for sure. Hey, Schlossnagel. I would get an Orioles jersey that said Schlossnagel on it.
That's what I'm saying, if he had played.
Yeah. I might just get an Orioles jersey that says Schlossnagel anyway.
That's dumb. Don't do that.
So, well, I already told you yesterday I won't wear a baseball jersey, so I won't do it.
Yeah, you won't. Yeah.
Schlossnagel.
Could have gone the Jersey, though.
Yeah.
Jersey route.
Schlossnagel. It's a good last name. Come on, man. What, were you born yesterday?
It's
because now he had to apologize.
Yeah, duh.
Duh.
Yeah.
Like, you took the job 3 minutes later after you yelled at the guy.
You were on the plane to Texas right after that
right
press
after.
conference. You walked right into the
Yeah,
into the
I
plane.
bet your team even knew that was happening.
Right.
So, give me a break. And then I do have one question for you. When you say you left your family, do you mean literally?
Yeah, that I don't know.
Like, left them, like, somewhere and never to return? Like, what do you... I don't know your story, Schlossnagel, but that's a kind of an odd thing to say. I literally left my family to coach the Texas A&M baseball team. Were they not supportive of that?
Right, exactly.
We're not going to have you here if you're going to be the head coach at Texas A&M. What do you mean by I left my family? What does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, I mean, if this is how he talks to people, I could see where his family's like, yeah, Schlossnagel's paid in the butt.
Kind of
a little off.
Well, I'm just typing in leaves family.
Leaves family. Yeah, Google that. Schlossnagel leaves family is a great Google ask. What does it say? It's just something he said?
No, it's just something he says.
Like they lived somewhere else. He moved there. They decided not to move with him, right?
Yeah.
Not like literally left them and left a note going, bye.
Right.
Or like, did the night before, did his son go, hey, are you taking that job at Texas A&M? And he goes, how dare you ask me a question like that?
If you want internet comment of the day from Reddit,
Yeah.
the quote left his family to be the coach at Texas A&M is the same thing that Ryan Howard decided to, quote, volunteer and give back to his community, end quote, with his court-ordered community service. Right. Like something you had to do, right?
Had to do that, huh?
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, Schlossnagle sounds like an interesting guy with his answers. Anyway, good luck, Texas, with that. Good luck. Clearly, he's a very good coach. All right, very quickly, because I didn't talk about this yesterday. How do you feel about the Conn Smythe being given to a player from the losing team of the Stanley Cup final?
Hot garbage.
Now, he was amazing.
I don't care. It's garbage.
And Bettman even had to yell it when he gave it to him. Broke Wayne Gretzky's playoff record for points in a playoff postseason. We're down 3-0 in the final. Came back to force Game 7. He do nothing Game 7, but still. I mean, had they won, he would have won it hands down.
That's right.
Like
That's
not even close.
It is worth noting that the Conn Smythe is also for the entirety of the playoffs.
And he referenced that too.
That's
but when he referenced it, I went, that's what they're doing. But there was part of me that went, Bobrovsky was great too.
Correct. It should have been
Bob. So
Bob.
if you're going to do this.
It should have been Bob.
I
Bob's
agree.
lifting the cup.
Yeah.
Give it to Bob. I just, here's the other part too. Hockey players, more than any other sport, are so fickle. If they lose the cup, they don't want that. Like they literally don't want that.
Yes.
And so save him the embarrassment of
forever.
Not
They wouldn't
showing
touch
up.
the conference championship
That's right.
trophy.
Yeah. And the NHL does a great bit every year. They go through all the teams that have touched it and not touched it, and see what happens
And
the
see
next
what
year.
happens?
Yeah, they do it every single year. It's one of my favorite videos they post.
Uh-huh.
And there are teams that still touch it
Yeah.
because they're not superstitious. But yeah, McDavid, rightfully so, didn't want to come out either because he's going, it's their
Come on.
moment.
Yeah.
It's their moment. Why would I
Right.
want to go out there?
on.
Like it's
Right. Thanks.
right. I think you should, if you want to go that route, you should let them decline it or something.
I decline it.
Decline it so then someone from the other team has to be picked.
I think if you are going to do that, you take a picture somewhere else. Just not on the ice of the home team winning the Stanley
of the
Cup.
home crowd cheering.
Right. They should have given it to Bobrovsky. I
Yes.
agree. He deserved it, though. It's not like he didn't. It wasn't like a weird choice.
No, but it
wasn't a weird choice. He was crazy great during the whole postseason.
Yeah, but what is your generation make fun of my generation for all these participation trophy crap, and yet you're still people that are older than you are voting for him to get the MVP in a losing effort.
I'm not voting for him. I agree with you. I think it probably should have gone to Bobrovsky. I think the hardest part was there wasn't an obvious Panthers player.
Well, that's the type of team they are, though.
That was the hardest part of it.
Right.
Like, if Reinhart had 15 goals or something, then I think it would have been easy to, give it to one of them. But because nobody did have a playoff run, there was no he had a crazy playoff run. I think that's what made it difficult. I told you the other day, I'm like, I have a funny feeling if they lose that they're going to give it to him. I had a funny feeling about
the
that.
odds jumped again, too, when we were doing the show on Monday.
They're also suckers for their stars. They want to push them.
They also, when we were doing the show on Monday, when I read the odds to you and he was minus 2,500, at 8 o'clock, they jumped up to minus 3,000. So it means that they were already starting to tally a little bit who was voting.
Well, it was obvious that, if they won, he was going to get it.
Yes.
That wasn't even close.
Sure.
If they won, he was going to get it. But I there was part of me that went, name the Florida Panther who had a postseason run that was obvious to win something like that. And I think that was what part of the problem was.
You could have argued Barkov. He shut down every star, every single, he was holding guys to 0 goals, entire series, essentially being the top defensive forward for them. I think you could have argued him, but Bobrovsky should have gotten it.
Yeah. All right, take a quick break. Brad, watch the show, ESPN 630, Sports Capital. Looking at all the mock drafts, and all of them seem to have consensus now that the French player, what is his name? Where is he? Zachary Rissachet will be the number 1 pick of the Hawks if they stick there.
So many Frenchmen now in the NBA.
Yeah, someone seemed there are a few that seem to believe they may switch gears and go with the UConn center Donovan Clingan, who's a 7'2" offensive. He's got some range and pretty good defensive player. Was great in the NCAA tournament, so I could see where that would go too. So they might go in that direction, but none of them taking Alex Sarr, who is a legit 7 feet with range. Mm-hmm. So feels like a no-brainer for a team that has nothing like that here in Washington to pick him. and bring him in. So all of these mock drafts have the top two that I'm looking at being the French guy going number 1 to the Hawks. Sarr seems like a lock at number 2, unless someone trades up to get Sarr from the Hawks because he, notably, didn't work out for them.
He does not want to go to Magic City and get the wings.
For some reason, he doesn't want to go to Atlanta. They're like, maybe we'll get the truth, maybe we won't.
He's going to go to Le Chanteurs.
Yes. Le Crack. Le Crack.
If you didn't listen live, you don't know what we're referencing.
Le Sorcier.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. If they change their name to, like, Diamondbacks did Serpientes.
Yeah.
Why can't we do Le Sorcier?
Oh, no, it's the best.
Let's go.
Dodgers have Los Doyers
Yeah, let's go.
with a Y. I mean, it's the best.
Let's do it. The Sorcier.
Or Le Crack, as we looked up.
That one we can't do. It'd be great. If you did, it'd be great. But they won't.
By the way, this always makes me feel really I'm sure it makes you feel worse, but you know how old Alex Sarr is?
No.
He's 19, born April 26, 2005.
2005. Wow, that does make me feel old. Oh, hope he's good.
He was drafted in Gilbert's prime.
Hope he's good. Him, Bilal, Poole. What else we got?
Denny. Your
Denny.
boy Denny.
Yeah,
Kisper.
that's 4.
Kisper. Did
Okay.
you say Kuzma? I don't think you said Kuzma.
Kuzma.
Yeah, it could be a fun team.
He could get moved tonight too, don't you think?
Not for anything for tonight's draft. Maybe for something
Down
for
the road
next year, but
next
not
year.
not anything coming back to them tonight.
Kuzma, Poole, Bilal, Denny. Now this guy, Sarr.
This guy's
get some size.
Remember, this guy's actually, though, he wants to be brought along a little slowly, so he's not going to contribute right away.
He'll get that here.
Right. Which they did with Bilal.
We'll go real slowly
a good
here,
job.
guy.
They did a good job with Bilal last year.
Yes, they did.
He showed
No
signs,
pressure.
didn't add time, and they only added time slowly.
Then when he got hurt towards the end of the year, they were like, you know what? Shut it down.
Yeah, it's fine. Which I was fine.
Fine.
You're not playing for anything.
Fine. Chief Keef, man, he's liking what he's seeing.
And winger.
And winger, yeah. So they're building. We'll see where they go from here. One of these guys needs to emerge, Bilal or hopefully this guy Sarr, if that's the pick tonight. One of them, like, in the end, somebody has to be a star. That's the real issue here.
Sarr the star.
Sarr the star. Sarr the star of Le Sorcier.
Just combining all the bits.
Yeah. Let's see. I didn't talk. Here's another one I missed that I want to talk about for a minute. JJ Redick's presser.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, by the way, all the mock drafts have the Lakers taking Bronny James at 55.
Okay, there you go.
That's where they have him.
Yeah.
Which means there's plenty of time to take him hostage before 55 rolls
I
around.
hope the Celtics do it at 54.
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be brazen enough to do it in the first round.
Yeah,
so I think
no.
they'll let it get to the second round, but there's a lot of teams that could do this way before we get around to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see what happens tomorrow on that. That'll be a fun countdown.
Yeah.
Live at 4 o'clock. Is Bronny James officially taken hostage by another NBA team?
All right.
We'll see. JJ Redick spoke the other day, gave his press conference. There were 3 points that he put out there that I thought were of major interest. One, he wants us to believe that he and LeBron James never spoke about him potentially becoming the head coach at all.
Right.
And said only spoke to him 30 minutes after he got the job.
Yeah.
Of which nobody believes
No effing chance.
No way.
No chance.
Let me get this straight. LeBron James, who has directed literally everything that's happened with that team since he showed up, suddenly is taking a hands-off approach on who they're hiring as the head coach, who also happens to be his buddy that he does a podcast with.
Sure, pal.
Sure, pal. Why do they feel the need to lie about that?
Right.
Why?
Right.
It's not like we don't know. What's the point? Like, we know Aiyuk wants to play with Jaden Daniels. It's not that big of a deal.
Yep.
We just know it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Why would he have to do this?
The other one is, hey, JJ, I thought you had something to say to Shams after all this was said and done.
Yeah.
Shams was actually the one that was right.
What?
Remember, Shams was the first one to say they're closing in on
Closing
JJ,
in on him.
and then Woj swooped in with the whole, they're going after Dan Hurley.
And they did. And that
And they
was
did.
legitimate.
It
They
was.
brought him out
It
there.
was.
They offered him a big contract. Hurley turned it down.
Right. But to be fair, he was the first one to legitimately put himself out there and go, JJ is their pick. And granted, yes, they went after Hurley.
Well, maybe it was, he's our guy unless we're going to take this swing. And maybe, in fairness to the Lakers, they weren't sure if Hurley would talk to them.
Yeah, right.
He didn't. He seems like a college lifer, but who knows? You're offering him the Lakers job, see how he feels about it.
Right.
And so they did take a swing at him, and then it turns out he at least had enough interest to listen. And then it got out, which, hurts the Lakers because they got turned down. But, I think they knew that was a semi-long shot unless they were going to overwhelm him with money.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair.
Did LeBron talk to Hurley about that one?
Yeah.
Bet he did.
Yeah, had to have.
Had to have.
Had to have.
You telling me the team didn't tell LeBron James we're going to try to hire Dan Hurley? Are you okay with that?
Right.
And by the way, we're going to make him the highest paid coach in the league. Are you okay with that?
Right, exactly.
He had to have given the green light for that one.
Yeah.
Or maybe he told him turn it down. Who knows?
Maybe, but I don't think so. No.
I don't think so. So then they go back to Redick, and Redick was their other choice. I'll believe this. He was their top choice that wasn't Dan Hurley.
Right.
Probably they circled Hurley early. They probably got an answer of, I don't know. And then they talked to Redick and they liked him. But they were waiting, remember?
Right.
And then they probably went back to Hurley and said, listen, we're serious. Do you really want to talk to us?
Hurley went out there and did all the interviews.
And he did.
And then he saw Billy Joel and decided he didn't want to go back.
Didn't want to go there. He could see Billy Joel in New York anytime.
It's true.
No need to go out there. He doesn't like the paparazzi.
He said he's not California.
He's not California.
Right.
That is not his personality.
There you go.
That's not going to work out.
It's kind of JJ's.
It's big time JJ's.
Yeah.
JJ, so let's see. Issue 1, why is he lying about LeBron James speaking to him prematurely about the coaching job? What's the point of lying about it?
Well, because LeBron has his
why wouldn't you talk to him?
LeBron has tried to save his reputation this coaching hiring cycle.
That I don't interfere.
That I don't meddle.
When everybody knows that he does.
Right. He's like, I don't meddle in all this. So I think that's all that is. It's they're all trying to stay consistent with their story. Is that, no, I didn't talk to him, even though we all know you
Of
did.
course they did.
Like, how did you not?
How would you not? You're telling me Jeannie Buss didn't tell LeBron James who they were interviewing. And if there was somebody on that list that he said, don't hire that guy, that they're like, okay, we won't bother.
Right. Or you're just,
everything they've done is to cater to him.
That's right.
He's directed a number of the things that have happened, most of which have blown up in their face.
Correct.
So, he just stopped doing that now?
Yeah, right.
They're going to draft his son tonight, right, too?
Right.
Did he not talk to his son throughout the whole pre-draft process? I'm going to bet he did.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Did he not talk to he and his agent not talk to other agents and other teams about not drafting his son tonight?
Right.
Or tomorrow? Like when he does get to 55 and nobody takes him hostage? Gee, I wonder if anybody told the other teams don't do that.
Right.
So whatever. Fine. 2, podcast is over.
Yeah. Right.
Easiest thing to answer.
Dead.
Clearly, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Or if we did, we couldn't tell you what we're going to talk about. We can't talk about the other teams, and we certainly can't talk about what we're doing.
Yep.
Dead.
Yep.
And I'm not sure I'd want to listen to it anymore. Because it would be too self-serving.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it wouldn't be.
You're great. No, you're great. No, you're great. That pick and roll was amazing, LeBron. You know that you called that pick and roll was really amazing, JJ. You got to call me coach now. You got it, JJ.
It would still be must listen because it'd be like Jerry. You'd have to tune in just to see if you get a nugget.
Yeah, maybe. You'd have to tune in to see if they actually say anything,
right.
But they can't.
Right, exactly.
Other than if things weren't going well, would LeBron throw him under the bus publicly on his own podcast, which would be fun to listen to the way he poses that.
Right.
So that's over with, obviously. 3, he says, and I think it was the right thing to say, he doesn't care that they went after Dan Hurley. His feelings weren't hurt, and that's okay. And then on the flip side of that, you've never been a coach. Now you're the coach of the Lakers, of which he started cursing, but not at people, not like Schlossnagel. Yeah. But he just started saying things like, I don't give I'll give JJ this. He's no Schlossnagel. He is not a Schlossnagel.
Sounds way worse when you say it like that. Got to stop slosh-nagling around.
You're not a Schlossnagel, are you? You're not going to tell me something. You're not going to yell at me, and then I'm going to find out tomorrow you did exactly what I asked you about, right?
Right.
He said he doesn't give a you-know-what about what people think about all of that, and that he's been preparing to do this for a long time, and that he met with coaches after, I guess he was up for an assistant job with Toronto last year.
Yep.
And at that point, and I appreciated this honesty, he said he didn't want to do that. He only wanted to be a head coach, and that he's been preparing himself to be a head coach, that he didn't want to take that route, which would have if he had gone to Toronto just for 1 year, regardless of how it went with their season, I think people would have let up on him a little bit on the inexperience thing because they would say, well, at least he was on a staff for a year.
Yeah, right.
But he said, I don't want to do that. I just want to go straight to the top. And all right, so he's being honest.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in this capacity. I'm not here to, quote unquote, learn how to be a head coach. I've had a long career. People are talking to me about these jobs. I'm only going to take one that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciated the honesty of that. This hiring to me is, yet again, they can lie about it all they want, but like it is to appease LeBron James for whatever reason that they want to appease him, and I don't know why. And if you're sitting there going, they just hired their next Pat Riley, maybe they did. I don't want to take that away from Reddick. They might, but consider the sources at this point of who's been running that organization for the last 5-10 years. They haven't gotten a lot right. I know they won that bubble championship with LeBron still semi in his prime, but like they haven't been very good.
Yep. Right.
They have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They're barely making the playoffs. They've messed up their roster over and over and over. They've made really poor decisions. So if you I don't know that Pelinka and Jeannie Buss really have the benefit of the doubt of going, we found the wunderkind coach. Did you?
He's not fixing the roster. He's not
Can't.
developing anybody. Like
No. I didn't hear. He gave the right answers on all that stuff. Said, we have really good players here. We don't think we're that far from being championship contention, whether that's true or not. I guess if LeBron plays like LeBron of 5 years ago, sure. I mean, why not, right?
Right.
And I thought he was very honest about all that stuff. And then he talked a lot about development and all these things. He clearly, oftentimes when guys go from TV or media to this, they sound like they know everything. In his case, I'll hear it out with him. He is young enough. I understood for a while why Louis Riddick is someone that, because he's so good on television, he's such a very good communicator. I could see where people would go, yeah, he has all the answers. But if you put him in the position, you find out whether he knows how to build a roster or not.
That's right.
And we've seen this a million times with guys who go from the booth over. Matt Millen's the epitome of it.
Yep.
Incredible football announcer. Got into the job, didn't know what he was doing.
That's right.
Riddick may, I'm not saying he wouldn't, but in J.J. Redick's case, he's young. He's still contemporaries with a lot of players in the league. I think that's important.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
And he sounds like he knows everything, right? He sounds great, but he's never done the job before. So until he gets there and he finds out what that's really like, we don't really know.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that. I still think, though, the Lakers hiring a coach with zero head coaching experience is pretty shocking in the day and age that we live in at this point.
And also at a time where they really need an experienced voice to try to get, it's time to hire Petey Lobs here, guys.
Right, yes.
You got to squeeze the juice out of what you have.
Right.
And a steady hand, new ideas might not be the best way to go at this point. But, if LeBron, I didn't know anything about it, is open to it, and really it's all about, does LeBron tell everybody else to follow this guy's lead? And I guess we'll find out in December.
That's right.
They're going to play for a month.
We're going to know. Yeah.
And we're going to know. And if he starts ignoring the plays that he's drawing up during timeouts.
Or LeBron takes the plays right away.
When it's 103-102 with 13 seconds left and LeBron takes the clipboard and draws up the play he wants, you're going to know exactly what it is.
Right.
Or if they go on a 3-game losing streak and he, walks by him like he did Spoelstra and bumps him. Right. You're going to know early. And LeBron has a history of throwing people under the bus. Mm-hmm. So this is the end of his career, too. And then throw in the fact that his son's going to be on the team probably by tomorrow night. And how much he's supposed to play, where he's supposed to play, all of that's going to be dictated to the coach. Think about that for a second.
Right.
LeBron, who's way more powerful than this coach, has his son on the team to fulfill this dream. Well, his son's going to get on the court because he's not going to ride the bench forever. So guess what JJ's going to be told in meetings from his star player? My son's playing tonight. And he's playing at the 3. And he goes, he's too small. And he goes, I said he's playing at the 3.
I don't know about that.
What, you think it's that far-fetched?
You're going to blow up the locker room if that happens.
Maybe. Well, I mean, who says anything to him? That's the point. He's the all-powerful.
Right.
Kneel before Zod.
Yeah.
You're not going to say anything to him.
Lazard.
Lazard. He is Lazard. The only way to reverse this is put the kryptonite in his fortress and reverse the whole thing. It's the only way to do it. There's no other way out.
Right.
I wish JJ Redick luck.
Fortress of Solitude.
I don't know him, actually. I've never met him. We never crossed paths like through the years.
Was he still playing when you were?
And when I watch him on TV or listen to his podcast or whatever, he's great.
Yeah. No.
Boy, he knows what he's talking about.
For sure. Yeah.
I hear a lot of guys know what they're talking about, though.
Right. Yeah.
Until you're in there managing the personalities, I think it's very hard to know how it's going to go.
Right.
And with the Lakers right now, this does feel like a setup to not go very well.
Mm-hmm.
If he took over as a first-time head coach and they were rebuilding, I would hear it out a little bit more because he'd probably have the ear of some of these people. But like the reality is he's got to get whatever he says has to be rubber stamped by his star player. Otherwise, it means nothing. So he could be a great coach and we'll never actually know it.
Right. Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
As for the Knicks deal today, whoa.
Oh boy.
Why?
Get the band back together.
So they get Bridges from the Nets.
Right.
The Nets, I'm sure they're not in the business of trying to make the Knicks better than they already are because that's not great for their marketplace.
Right.
However, the deal is so utterly ridiculous, I don't know how they would turn it down.
That's right. Yeah.
They got 4 first-round picks
Unprotected.
from New York.
Yep.
And another first-round pick through somebody else and like another pick swap. So they got 5 total picks and a pick swap
Yep.
for Bridges.
Right.
Not Giannis, right? Not Booker, for that matter. For Mikal Bridges. This makes them that much better?
They are trying
seriously?
Trying to run it back with Villanova.
Look, I appreciated how they played. All my friends who are up in the Bing Bongs, all of them said the same thing about this team. They were actually they're typically unrealistic. They were very realistic about this team. They're like, we know they're not going to win the championship, but they play so hard. We love them.
Yeah, right.
We love them.
Sure.
And they love Brunson, tough as nails, scowl on his face. I'm going to win for you, power of the garden.
Mm-hmm.
They love him. So they get a guy who's very good, but not a superstar. They way overpaid to do it. I don't know, man. That felt like a desperate move. And was there somebody else that was maybe even a little bit better they could have acquired if that's what they were putting on the table? Because it was described by Woj as being they overwhelmed the marketplace, that the Nets had made a decision. They were going to reset, probably because of this draft. They were going to reset. Bridges is the big piece. There was a lot of interest in him, and it was described as this was an overwhelming offer for him. Which it sounds like it is.
It does say from Woj that Bridges wanted to play for the Knicks.
I'm sure he did.
To go with his 3 former teammates.
Gets to stay there, knows the teammates.
Yep, right. And then
listen, chemistry in the NBA matters. They got a good thing going. They do have I don't think they're good enough to win a championship, but they got a good thing going there.
And then
the high caliber star. How do they match with Boston? I mean, that's really the problem here. They don't have the high caliber star player.
They also said that the Knicks are confident they can actually keep him long term too.
Yeah.
So that's why all of those picks. You see, what they should have is like an NFL type deal where the NFL, these picks kick in if you sign them to a contract extension.
Sure.
Like that's what you would probably want, but in the NBA you just don't do that. So
the Nets have gone full reset.
Right.
Which probably the right thing to do.
They have
full reset.
This is my favorite stat. They are now OKC. They have 16 first-round picks through 2031.
Yeah.
in 4 in next year's draft. That's going to be a full reset for them, actually, because next year the draft is supposed to be good.
Interestingly, Winger and company haven't done that yet.
What? Like stock up the pick?
Stock it up. But they also
can't.
They haven't.
They haven't. I mean, they don't have the stars to do that. That was Brad, but Brad forced his way to Phoenix.
His way to Phoenix. You have to have the numbers matched. So they got CP3, then flipped him to get Poole, and then you don't get all the things that you need.
They got the first with Poole too, right? Didn't they get a first with Poole?
I gotta look.
They added a first somehow and all of that. I think.
But they haven't gotten the crazy collection.
No, because
maybe that's where Kuzma comes in down the line.
Maybe, because he's affordable.
I'll tell you what. You're looking at something like that, and you're going, they're giving up 5-6 picks for him. Could we get 3?
I mean, at least
for a
2.
desperate team, could we get
2 and some 2s?
Well, I think that's what it was last year. They were saying if we get 2 first-round picks, we'll do it, and nobody was willing, seemingly, to do that. And then they went to him and said, if you want us to give you away, we will.
Yeah.
But we don't really want to do that. He said he wanted to stay, but I think they were honest with him and said, if that right deal comes along, we will move you, but we'll be communicative with you about it.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten to that yet. The Nets are this. Oklahoma City's worked out. Houston seems to be heading in this direction. They have young talent. They're trying to stock up. This is why they're not going to get Durant, I don't think. It's the timeline's off. But they're stocking up to do something. And Oklahoma City's a wild card here. They have the team now.
Right.
What do they do with all this draft capital now?
Right.
What do they do with it now? And I would argue the time is now for the right person to go move some of it and go get the player to help them and this group get over the top. KD, Oklahoma City. You know what? I'll make a case for it. I mean, that's not like, because they're right there.
I said that last offseason that they should move one of
Now
those.
that they've done what they've done with this last year, I would argue, okay, I'd hear it out.
I think it'd be such a cool story too, because KD has gone on record saying
Yeah.
he never really wanted to leave there, but he wanted to win, and
So he goes full LeBron and goes back, wins a championship there with them.
I think that'd be really badass.
I'll hear that one out. I would guess Golden State tries to reach back out to him to see if he would run it back with them for the last couple of years of his career with Steph and Draymond and
Not
figure
unlike
it out. But him going back to OKC with that team and playing like. They have stars, so would he be willing to kind of weave into the fabric
I think
of
it would
I
be
don't
the same
know.
thing that I argued with LeBron if LeBron had possibly gone to Dallas. Like, LeBron would demand the spotlight but keep those other two in the background in a good way. I think KD would do the same thing in OKC. He'd kind of take some of the brunt away from those young players.
He doesn't look for a lot of attention
He
that
doesn't,
way.
but he would get it, is what I'm saying.
Of course.
So I think what would happen is, like, all of a sudden SGA doesn't have to answer a lot of the questions. All of a sudden, some of those
That's
other
true.
younger players, like, I think sometimes it's good to bring in one of those guys because all of a sudden those other guys can kind of work a little bit better.
Yeah, I think at this point, this is the last move for him. Whatever it is, Phoenix clearly isn't it. So what's it going to be? I don't know that going to Golden State would work, but I could understand where a last gasp of it.
Sure.
With those guys, they feel like that they could do it if they had him. And then there's OKC that is an interesting one. I wonder if he tugs on the heartstrings a little bit. Pull the LeBron.
He never said
go back.
Like, he's always said he liked it there.
They have a really good team.
Yep.
If they win a championship, all's well that ends well with him.
Right.